So a couple days ago, DaVinci Resolve 19 beta just dropped, and I'm really excited to show you some of the features that are packed into this program. So it's been a while since I talked about video editing software. Normally I talk about audio stuff, but I do get asked a lot when people are starting YouTube channels, what kind of software do I use or should I use when it comes to editing? And like 99% of the time, I will say DaVinci Resolve for a couple reasons. First, there's a free tier and there's a pay once tier, which I totally recommend because you get some extra features in the paid tier of DaVinci Resolve, and the nice thing is you only pay once, and then every time they do an update, that's it. So there's a lot of features that are being rolled out in this release, but I'm going to show you the ones that I'm really most excited for, and I think will benefit somebody new to YouTube that are getting into making their own videos. So the first one that I'm really excited for is the film look creator effect. So traditionally with Resolve, you would build your film look out with nodes. You would create nodes, and you can add like effects on the side here. So you can add your grain, you can add like a tone split. The nice thing is in this version is they bundled all that into one plugin. So I have some footage here that I shot in the winter time. Now traditionally what I would do is I'd start with a base, and then I would create something called my colored space transform, which is basically going to kind of convert my log footage into Rec 709 that I can work with. But let's try this out. Let's go, where is it? Film look creator. So let's go to film look creator. So it does have some really cool presets right out of the gate. For example, I can set it to cinematic, and you can see right away it has a specific look, and from here I can fine tune. It's got a color blend tool, so if I find I want to just kind of blend it a little bit better with my original footage, I can blend the effects. There's a lot of effects that are happening in this, like bloom. Again, like I said, this was traditionally done in a color transform space plugin, but it's built in. Color settings, if I want to change exposure, contrast, I can fine tune everything here. It's got a lot of stuff. While I'm here, I'm going to show you the color slice feature that is in the color page of DaVinci. A thing that I like about DaVinci is they definitely listen to what people are asking for, and this is something that people have been asking for a while, I believe. So let me show you. In this case, I have a piece of footage of my friend Philip, amazing photographer, and let's just kind of see what this can do. So in this case, let's say I want to just tweak the skin tones. I can go over here, click on skin. If I hold this button down, I can see what colors it's selecting, which is really helpful. And then from there, I can change the hue. So if I want to have it a little bit more orange, if I want to lighten it up a little bit, just kind of put it back where it was. I can change contrast. So am I pushing those colors? Let's just bring it back. Let's say just they're a little punchy. I want to just kind of, there we go. Let's say I want to change some blues. Let's see what blues we got going on there. So I'm just going to increase that a little bit. You can see it's starting to tweak just those colors. So it's a quick way that you can get in there, tweak colors. You don't have to mask anything. It's already grabbing those color tones for you. So another really cool feature. Something else that DaVinci Resolve is introducing in this version is something called Ultra NR, Ultra Noise Reduction. And what it's doing is using machine learning and AI to figure out what the noise is in an image and automatically setting its spatial threshold. So this is actually really cool. So if you're working really quick, this is something that I think will benefit you. I think if you do it manually, it's still better, but again, it's just something that's going to take up more time. So if you're editing on a pinch or you have to have a quick turnaround, this is something that's really cool. So the way it works is you go to Spatial NR, go to Mode, Ultra NR, and then you analyze the image. It's going to take a sample of the image, and it's going to set your Luma and Chroma to what it thinks will fix it. So let's move to the editing page. A couple things I want to talk about here, I'm just going to talk about them quickly, is the first feature that I really think is going to be really fun to play around with is something called speed warp. So let's say you shot something at 24 frames a second and you wanted to have like a slow-mo effect. Well, if you were just to slow it down, you would notice because you're missing frames, it's kind of choppy. So DaVinci has a thing called optical flow, and you would set that up, and basically what it does is it sets up, I think it just duplicates, it adds an extra frame just to kind of make that slow motion feel a little bit smoother. So now the way speed warp works is it's using AI to analyze your footage and fill in those gaps. So you're probably gonna get a more realistic slow motion effect, which I think is really cool. I haven't had a chance yet to play with it, but from what I've heard so far, it's really cool, especially if you set it to speed warp faster. If you have a little bit of a slower system like mine, apparently the faster will be less taxing on your system. So some other plugins that I think are gonna be really beneficial to people are some of the audio plugins they're introducing. And I'm gonna say that these are gonna be game changers for people that tend to work in busier environments, specifically like if you're doing YouTube videos at home. I have kids, so it's always noisy. A while back, they introduced voice isolation, which was a really cool AI tool that analyzed your voice and was able to like single it out from the background. So they kind of went one step further now, and they introduced some other plugins that are really cool. So you can access these now right from the edit window. So if I click on the audio section here, and then I click on audio, what they've introduced was the dialogue separator and the music remixer. So let me show you the dialogue separator first. I have a noisy clip here you can see from my last video. I'm gonna open up the dialogue separator. There we go. It gives us some options now. So I could mute the voice, just if I want the background. So you can hear it's just room sound now.
Large amp or something like that.
That I think will be a very useful feature. I'm finding it a little bit buggy on my system. Again, this is a beta, so I think when that is fully worked out, or maybe it's my system, I don't know, that'll be really cool. The other really cool plugin that they introduced is something called Music Remixer. So let me bring in some audio. What do I got? Here's some audio. Probably heard this from the Peter McKinnon intro. So we're going to select the track, we're going to go to Music Remixer, turn it on, and let's say I just want to mute certain things. Let's say I just want the guitar, no anything. So I'm going to mute the drums. And again, you can like fine tune things to taste. This is kind of a shitty MP3, so I'm sure it's... Okay, let's say I want to mute the guitar. Let's see how this works. So through the magic of AI, it can isolate things in a track even if it's a shitty MP3. It has also introduced ducking, so that is going to be very useful if you have dialogue, and instead of doing it all in Fairlight, and if you have to automate, you can do it all now in the editor. So that's going to be a time saver, especially if you're doing dialogue and background music. So anyways, that's a quick summary of DaVinci Resolve 19 beta. It's probably going to roll out in the next couple of months, the full version, but check it out. It's a lot of fun. So if you're starting getting into video production, this is a great piece of software, even the free. Not all these features will be available in the free version, but there's still more than enough to get you going on whatever project you're working on.